Today we're going to talk about spices. Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the Carnivore Diet, all things related to the Carnivore Diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. As I said, today we're going to talk about spices. This subject came up in the live stream on Friday, and I thought we'd talk about it just a little bit more. Now, strictly speaking, salt is what we're supposed to use. Salt is considered carnivore. And the question came up, what about other spices? So I thought we'd talk about that for just a minute here. The first thing I would suggest is Redmond's real salt has many different flavors of salt. I'm not sponsored at all. If anybody from Redmond's is watching this, give me a call. We'll talk. But they have lots of different spices. They have a chef's blend and some smoked salts, and you just have to go out to their website and look. There's tons of different flavors of salt. I have tried quite a few of them because they were here for the Omaha Hard to Kill Summit back in July. And after I got done buying 3 or 4, they're like, well, here, try these. And they threw some more in for free. So I got a chance to try quite a few of their flavored salts. And I liked them all pretty well. Some better than others. But for the most part, I liked them all. So just kind of trying to decide which way I'm going to walk today. But I know I forgot to say hello to all the new people. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Let's go down this way. I don't think we've actually ever been down this way. But welcome. You might be asking yourself what in the world's going on here. Well, basically you're watching me walk. The interesting part about that is that 21 months ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for 2 to 2.5 minutes at a time without severe pain due to my spinal stenosis and other medical problems. Now I'm out here walking every day. I know the sun makes it look beautiful out, and it's not really that cold. It's about 35 or 36, which for February is not too bad. It's just not as good as it was last week when it was getting up to near 50. So I've got the big orange coat back out. Got my hat on. I've got my heavy mittens on without the lining gloves because for some reason, well, probably because I'm 60, my hands get cold really easy. So I went ahead and put my mittens on. If you're returning to the channel, thanks for stopping back by. I do appreciate you spending just a few moments of your day with me. I'd like to ask each and every one of you to help me out. I need to get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 60 years old, and I'm doing things I couldn't do when I was 40. So if you could help me out just a little bit, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, drop down in the comments and say, hi, Bob. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. All these things that are absolutely free help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. But yeah, salt. We talked about salt. Now, the one common spice that everybody uses, or used to use, or most people use, I shouldn't say everybody. Everybody's a bad generalization. But a lot of people use black pepper. I used a lot of black pepper through my whole life because I like spicy stuff, and I didn't cut it out right away when I first started. Well, at the suggestion of watching Dr. Berry videos, I decided I'm going to go just salt for 60, 90 days, see what happens. Then after I got done with that, I decided, okay, I know I've cleaned up my diet. I like some of these other spices. Let's try and add them back in. Now, when you do this, make sure you do it one at a time so you know which one is making you react. The first time I had a reaction to a spice, if you go back and watch my earlier videos, I had a little bit of taco seasoning that was still left over from before. So I thought, well, I'm just having ground beef today, mixing in a little taco seasoning. That shouldn't be too bad. I don't know what it was in the taco seasoning, but that was a real mistake. So after the joint aches went away again after that, I thought, I think I'll just add some black pepper in. That too turned out to be a mistake. It seems I have some kind of a reaction to black pepper. So that was very disappointing. And apparently that's a fairly common one. So if you're still using pepper, I would suggest cutting it out for 45 to 90 days just to make sure you've cleaned out your system, and then add it back and see how it makes you feel. If you're not having any reaction to it, and that goes for all of the spices we're going to talk about today, all spices in general, and even some sauces, add them back one at a time so you know if you're having a reaction to it or not. Because, if you go, like with me, a taco seasoning had 8, 10 ingredients in it. I had no idea what was giving me the problem with it. All I knew is that I had a problem with it. I'm told, I haven't actually tried it myself because it's a little on the pricey side. I'm told that white pepper, people have a lot less reaction to that. And hopefully someday I'll be able to take my own advice. And if you happen to find somebody that uses white pepper, you can borrow just a little bit of it and see if you have a reaction. That's my whole problem with spices and things. There's some that people use that sound really good, but I hate to spend the money on a whole bottle of some kind of spice only to discover that I have a reaction to it and have to throw it away. Now that way heads back to the house. Let's go on up around the corner this way. One of the things that I use that I don't have reactions to is red pepper. I'm not sure why. It doesn't seem like red pepper would be that much different than white pepper or black pepper. But for some reason, red pepper doesn't affect me, which got me thinking, I bet I could use Tabasco too, or Frank's Red Hot sauce. And I keep both of those around the house. I don't use them very often, but Frank's and Tabasco are basically just vinegar and red pepper. And they don't give me any problems, so I occasionally use those. Oh, there's a little hill here I didn't realize was here. But, yeah, and the other thing that I use on occasion, again, I don't use any of these things very often, but yellow mustard. You know, you have to be careful of all those stone ground specialty mustards that can have horseradish or many other ingredients in them. But just plain yellow mustard has no carbs, and it tastes good, and you get a great big bottle of it for about $1. That's not such a bad deal. So I do like using a little yellow mustard sometimes. But again, for you, are the spices and sauces carnivore? No, they're not. However, those spices and sauces, as long as you try them one at a time and they don't give you a reaction, I don't see any harm in it. Now again, you got to be real careful to read the ingredients, because, well, one of the big ones that I had somebody comment, oh, this has been months and months ago, but they said, I'm just eating meat and eggs. I don't understand why I haven't gotten any results. Well, we talked a little bit, and they said, well, all I'm using is a little bit of barbecue sauce on my meat because I really like it. Yeah, well, most barbecue sauces are basically sugar with a little bit of other spice thrown in. So just be real careful, read the ingredient list, and add them one at a time. So if you do have a problem, you know what's causing it. I do have another topic that we need to talk about very quickly here. I apologize because you just had all those products yesterday. But you guys know, I hooked my wagon to the keto chow train about a year ago, primarily because I use Daily Minerals, which was designed with keto chow and Dr. Berry. So it's a pretty good product. One of the big objections to it that people have is the taste. And I totally understand it. As I understand it, it's probably the little bit of copper content, because it's loaded up with a bunch of trace minerals that just aren't in our soil anymore. So if the trace minerals aren't in the soil, the cows don't get it when they eat the grass. So they don't have as much of the trace mineral as he would like to see us have. So they developed Daily Minerals. Now, if you guys go back and watch some of my other videos, I don't use a whole serving of Daily Minerals because there's a big 32-ounce bottle you can get. It's like $65 or so. And if you do a full serving, every month you're going to need another bottle. And I felt like I was getting some minerals from my beef and eggs diet. So I added just a little splash to my first cup of coffee in the morning. It still wasn't very good, but at least it wasn't so overpowering that it was hard to drink. Well, they've come out with a new product, and they're calling it Salty Daily because they have launched their new company, Salty. But what it is the daily minerals in capsule form. And I forget what it said. I mean, you can read the label and realize that it's going to take, I think it's 8 capsules to get as much of everything as you get in a full serving of the daily minerals. But because it's in capsule form, it's much easier to take a partial dose. And I got my sample pack in a few days ago, and I have to tell you, it's a lot easier to take 1 capsule of that a day than it is to try and choke down even just a little bit of the liquid mixed in with my first cup of coffee or first hot drink of the morning. So I thought I would bring that to your attention. It's a brand new product released today. So if you're already using daily minerals or have tried daily minerals in the past or have wanted to try daily minerals, because Dr. Barry's the one that designed it, you can get by the taste and the dosage amounts by getting it in capsule form. And as always, any Keto Chow product, you can use my link in the description to click on it, and then I believe the discount code is just SemiRetiredBob, and you'll save a little money. That's the new product release from Keto Chow, which is not really a new product, but it is because they're now in capsule form as opposed to having to drink the liquid. I kind of still like the liquid because if I'm not mixing it in with my morning beverage, it's real easy to throw in the pot with my ground beef because it adds a little salt and a little other flavors to it that gets covered up mostly by the ground beef. And it is minerals, so you don't have to worry about. I have an interview with Chris Bear in my interviews section. You can go back and watch that. But a common question for daily minerals, because a lot of people like to use it in cooking, their common question is, well, how hot can we get the daily minerals before it becomes a problem? And I think he said as long as you don't heat them above 17,000 degrees, basically you can't damage them. They're minerals. I don't know what the actual temperature is that he said. I'm just doing this off the cuff, off the top of my head, but you can use daily minerals in cooking quite freely because minerals don't break down under heat. But yeah, if you're going to use spices, I don't believe that's bad, as long as you read the label to make sure there's nothing bad in there, like sugar. And make sure you're adding them one at a time and giving each new spice several weeks to work on your system so you know for sure that that spice is or is not causing you problems before you go on to the next one. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope some of what I said today made sense. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.